I mean, in most of my videos, I show this as like having coffee, but in reality, it's actually wine. Born in the pre internet era, I am a lover of everything old school. From movies, music, icons, clothing to cultural nuances, I felt those days were the 20th century version of romanticism. I hope to bring those old school vibes through Gane watches. Kinda did. This video is brought to you by Gane Watches. This is Gane Watch's initial offering, the Type C2. The dimensions are 38mm in diameter and 45mm in lug distance. The thickness is 13mm, which is quite hefty for a time-only watch. The lug width is 20mm, perfect for strap options. There's a decorated case back that showcases the founder's own artistry. This houses the Miyota 8250 movement, which beats at 21,600 bph and has a 42-hour power reserve. This offering from Gane struck me a lot. It came across as simple and plain, but there's so much character just waiting to be discovered underneath its aesthetics. Immediately noticeable is the heavy mass of the case. It's thick and solid, bears the shape of the 60s, and complements the dial very well. With its 38mm diameter, it fits my small wrist nicely. Today, any watch that measures under 40mm quickly evokes nostalgic emotions. This is very appropriate to the Type C2's purpose. Based on the Japanese word Hagane, meaning steel, the brand strips down any unnecessary design elements in favor of focusing on its steel works. Operating the watch is simple. Pull the crown all the way out to set the time. That's it. There is a ghost date function with the Miyota 8215 movement. It's something I can forgive, however. Winding the crown is very mechanical in feeling. That's quite fitting for its steel-anchored principles. The whole watch comes in a very subdued but elegant packaging. It feels very personalized and not something that you'd want to store and collect dust. This black varnished wooden box provides a natural handcrafted appeal that can easily have a home on your display case. There is much appreciation when a brand goes a step beyond a mass-produced cardboard box. Another thing to appreciate is the matte textured butterfly clasp. It's snappy and deploys instantly. This kind of deployment we only typically see on higher end watches. It is slightly thicker, but that's in keeping with the watch profile. The bracelet uses push pins for this one with enough links included for adequate sizing. This band also has some quick release spring bars to make strap changing easy and effortless. On the case back is a delightful personal sketch from the founder itself in honor of his mom and a bright prospect for all children to a better future. This watch has more to offer and a closer look is very much warranted. Let's begin with the case design. It bears the hallmarks of retro styling starting with the shape. This curvy to no case was very popular decades ago with Zenith's Defy and Omega's Constellation to name a few. This shape accomplishes two things. First, the large corners highlights the fine finishing of the case, and second, this space pushes the dial inward visually, which makes the dial seem smaller and drive attention to it. A good choice because the box sapphire crystal is just gorgeous. The size of the case is equally exquisite. Its polished chamfer just shines and catches both light and your attention. The thick sides display the fine and even finishing above your average microbrand. This is a product of Gane's partnership with a Swiss company to execute the project. The straight bracelet wears big and raw with its profile and brushed surface. The dial uses CNC carving to produce the channeled indices and pleasing circular texture. You can only imagine how this will look with light play. This dual plate construction takes advantage of having a different texture for the inner dial, simply beautiful in various angles. The same can be said with the crown side that's thoughtfully signed with the brand's logo. This Art Deco font faithfully represents the watch and the brand. Representation and expression of principles form a major part of the watch. Like a canvas for an artist, key parts such as the caseback and dial expresses the founder's values, who's an engineer by trade and artist by passion. The indigo blue used in this model represents wisdom, deep sincerity, and great devotion to justice, something that Gane proudly mentions in their website and hopes to represent the wearer as well. The C2 is not just a watch with art in mind. As much as there is restraint and focus, practicality was also built into the design. Gane also offers some very attractive leather straps, and the brick bracelet can also be bought separately. On the strap, the watch takes on a new personality compared to the straight cut bracelet. Its taper gives an additional dimension to the shape. Its vintage style stitching also provides some visual interest. The buckle is signed with a brand name with a pleasing curvature that matches the shape of the watch itself. This strap is a 4 mm thick strap that's very thick and lined with premium wax on its thick sides. Don't let this heft fool you, the textured leather is soft to the touch. On the wrist, it's still very comfortable and wears just like any other strap in the market. You could definitely feel that weight, of course. The Type C2 on a bracelet retails for $555, with the strap variant going for $495. There are two other dial collars available, and the straps and bracelet can be bought separately. Sometimes simplicity is not all there is. Gane proves that careful thought and meaningful design can be expressed on the most pure of aesthetics. Some may say more for less, but it's more appropriate really to say it's more meaningful through sincerity. Is it not wise to refrain from complicating the design when the whole point of the piece is to be pure? It takes integrity to do that. While much of the design of the Type C2 may seem basic to many, but it does manage to sell something that the eyes could not directly see: wisdom, sincerity, and integrity. With this said, Gane watches are worthy of consideration. It's a true expression of art and craft in steel. So my outro should be like then boom. So I'm going to like create the screen. It should be like boom. I'm going to record for the TSO and also for this. I mean, so we're going to shoot it one time. Actually, yes, the TSO Powermatic Gentleman. Oh, I'm already drunk.